Everyone knows that the publishing industry is always looking for that book title that will capture everyone's attention. Well, guess what? Kevin Leman has done it again. His latest title, are you ready? Have a New Husband by Friday. How to change his attitudes, behavior, and communication in 5 days. Now, you might wonder how this could even be possible. I mean, really. But again, we know this is Kevin Leman talking, so he's the same internationally recognized family expert who brought us groundbreaking bestsellers like The Birth Order book, Sheet Music, and Making Children Mind Without Losing Yours. Dr. Leman, welcome back to Full Circle. I have to ask you, has this book gotten much of a reaction?
Oh yeah. It's destined to become probably the bestseller ever of all the books. And the predecessor, Have a New Kid by Friday, hit the New York Times bestseller list, and they think this one is going to go beyond that. And I don't know how you go beyond that, but it's the people that love it.
It's got us talking. I mean, we are really excited
like, what do
about
men
this
think about this?
Yeah.
That's what I want to say, because how to change his attitude.
My husband's waiting for Have a New Wife.
Yeah. Let me be clear on that. You will never see a book called Have a New Wife.
I'd make it on the bestseller list because it would be
Have a New Wife by a year from Friday, maybe.
I'm a lot smarter than I look. I mean, I might look dumb as a pumpkin, but I'm telling you, I'm smart enough never to write that one.
You woouldn't be coming on this show.
You would be coming on this show. You would never have you on with that.
But quite frankly, this is a book. When men see the title, they go, hey, don't let my wife see that book. I say, actually, Charlie, you know, this is a book you would like your wife to read. Because women, now, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, women.
What are you saying?
How do I say this?
Yeah.
You're outnumbered.
You want to think before you speak.
Women don't get it.
Oh. Women don't get what?
And women are the relational wonders of the world. They thrive on relationships.
It's because we can't.
They hug anything that moves. I watch them at church. But they really don't do a good job of understanding who this man is.
Yeah.
Men don't communicate like women do. The researchers tell us that you women will use 3.5 times the number of words your husband would use in a given day. You tend to see life completely different. You go potty in groups of 4, 8, 12, and think nothing of it. I'm going potty. Anyone want to come along?
Of course.
It's a social event.
It is social. You talk, you hang out.
So
Sorry, it's too much information. I know.
in this
You're doing your
book,
makeup together.
I say,
you know.
ladies, listen, you got to understand, you got to track this bear to his den and understand that your husband is a creature of habit. To him, a T-shirt with just one spot is basically clean. He'll eat the same meal time and time again. And lots of times when you say to him, honey, what are you thinking about? And he says, nothing. Trust me, he's not thinking about anything.
Yeah.
So we really are different. Think of your husband as a 4-year-old that shaves. If you have that basic element in mind, you're now ready to understand the truth. Now, this is the key to what women need to understand about their husband. Your husband is like a seal. He's like a seal sitting in the Pacific Ocean on a rock outside of Monterey, California. And I've been there. It's quite a sight. The seals sit on rocks. And when you say something nice about your husband, especially in front of other people, you've thrown him a 3-pound fish. And he's like that seal who will flap his little flippers together. If you threw him a ball, he'll balance it on his nose. He'll do anything to try to please you. And that's what I want women to understand about us men, is this man really wants to please you, but when he can't be right and he can't figure things out, he shuts down. Now here's the complicating part for you women. We all know that women, for example, like to be held. Most women like to be held and cuddled. But if a woman says to her husband, Harold, would you come over here and give me a hug? I need a hug, honey. Harold puts down the newspaper, walks over and goes, what does she tell herself? She says, well, he held me all right, but he only held me because I asked him to and not because he really wanted to. So women want a man to understand how she feels without telling her.
Yes, and what's
How
wrong
she
with
feels.
wanting that?
To discern that.
What's wrong with wanting him to know your needs ahead of time and to want to please you and be with you, and you don't have to ask him to do that? It's so simple.
Melinda, let me give you an example out of my life with Mrs. Uppington, the woman I married 42 years in a row ago. We're driving home from dinner, and she turns to me and she says, do you want to stop for ice cream, honey? I said, no. And I kept driving. I look over there a minute later, tears streaming down her face, Maggie. Streaming down her face. I go, what is wrong with you? Here's another thing about women. They lie like dogs. She turns to me and she says, nothing. I said, nothing? You're crying, aren't you? I said, there's nothing wrong. I said, what is wrong with you? She said, I want to stop for ice cream. You know, now here it is from God himself. Listen, I got the revelation. Right then I said, honey, I got a great idea. God just gave it to me. Next time you want to have ice cream, why don't you say to me, hey, honey, I want to stop for ice cream, and I'll be glad to pull over and get you ice cream. But see, this goes back to the thing, she wants me to know. So lots of time when a woman asks, would you like to do that? She's really not asking the husband. She's saying to the husband,
That's true.
I want your mocha almond fudge now.
Yes, that's my Jamocha almond fudge from Baskin Robbins.
There you go.
Favorite.
There you go.
Sorry, yes.
You and Mrs. Uppington could have lunch.
See, and if a woman said that to me, like if Melinda said, hey, after you want to go for coffee afterwards, I might say, I don't know if I really want to. Why, did you want to? That's what I would say. I go, well, did you want to?
Yeah. No,
Why
that's
don't you
men.
guys
But
say
it
that?
amazes me that after 40-something years, you didn't really catch on to that. Oh, she really means.
Maggie, let me be real specific with you.
Change.
It was 10 years into our marriage when I found out that sex was not the most important thing to my wife.
Well, then she's a
Wow,
good wife.
it's taken a while.
That's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She just put a big sign above our bed that says, don't even think of parking here. I didn't like that. I tried to take it down, but it was bolted on the wall. But, you know, there's some humor in this because if you don't think that God had a great sense of humor, he did. One of the funniest things God ever said was this, the two shall become one. There's humor in that because I tell you, we are so different. And he was the guy that created us so differently. So the key is understanding, ladies, that this man wants to please you, okay? He needs to feel needed and wanted by you. He needs to be fulfilled by you. And see, your husband doesn't have close personal male friends that he sits down with at lunch and shares with and communicates with. In fact, if your husband's a representative of the male gender, what we're experts at are arm's length relationships.